Today I'll be changing the spark plugs on my 99 Prelude. I have 4 new spark plugs here, a 5/8 inch spark plug socket, a 10mm socket for removing the cover, a spark plug gauge. NGK shows that they're pre-gapped, but you always want to make sure that you double check it before you put them in. I have it turned here to the page that talks about replacing the spark plugs. Want to make sure you have lubricant to lubricate the threads, and a new set of NGK wires. Also a torque wrench that I found on Amazon. I've never used a torque wrench before, so I'll also be learning how to use that. I've disconnected the battery because I've never really done this before. That just seems like the right thing to do if you're working on an electrical component. First thing you got to do is remove the 4 10mm bolts holding down the cover. So now you can see your 4 wires here heading to the distributor cap. I'm going to start with cylinder number 1 first. I've taken the wire off, and this is where your spark plug socket will come in. It's got a sort of rubber gasket on the inside, so you can pull it out without dropping it back into the engine. So I've pulled that first one out, and this thing is filthy. It looks like oil. I don't know. I'll have to research that after I do this. And this is the brand new one. I've gapped it already to 0.044, I believe. With this lubricant, you just need a little dab on your finger, or if you're smarter than me, use gloves. And you smear it just on the threads, not anywhere near the electrode. This is just to make sure that the next time you pull these out, they're not stuck. I might use a little more. So remember, your spark plug socket is your best friend at this point, because as you're flipping it in, it's not going to fall out until you have it threaded in. Yeah, I won't be able to use that torque wrench because that one is a 1/2 inch drive. What I've done instead is I remember hearing somewhere that once you feel the crush washer crush at the base of the spark plug, you should be good. I'm gonna go with that for now, and if my car blows up, I'll have to go back with the torque wrench and figure something out. So after failing at this 3 times, what kept happening was the spark plug socket, because it grips onto the spark plug whenever I tried pulling my whole wrench out, to keep getting stuck. So what I did was I used a 16mm. It still works with the 5/8 that doesn't have, so a regular, not a spark plug socket. Grab the NGK wire, the new one that matches the length of that one. You want to make sure it's the right length, that way it reaches where it's supposed to. So I'm done with the first one, and I'll go ahead and do the same for the rest of the cylinders. I've got all the wires hooked up. This looks right to me. I'm gonna go ahead and reconnect the battery and see if the car will turn on. Let's turn it on. Sounds super good to me. I'd just like to take a moment and say that I'm super proud of myself, because last time I tried doing spark plugs on my own, it was a big old mess. I mean, I had a pretty crap car to start with. It was a 94 V6 that I thought I loved at the time, but it ended up being more trouble than it was worth. But yeah, my car's running great now. Sounds good. Alright, time to clean up. I was just gonna toss these wires, but I think it's pretty cool that, let's see, on there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's stamped 1998, which I think is pretty cool. That's the year my car is manufactured, so I could save these as spares, or I don't know, find something to do with them. I bought my car about 1.5 years ago. The guy who had it before had it in his garage for about 4 or 5 years under non-op. If you're not from California, that means, or I don't know if they have in any other state, but it just means you're going to have it stored in your garage. So I don't know if he ever changed the spark plugs. When I bought it, it was at 84,000 miles. Now it's at 99,500. I've looked in the manual. It looks like spark plugs, you adjust them. You're supposed to replace them, adjust them, whatever, every either 105,000 miles, 168,000 kilometers, or 84 months. So I should be good to go for 84 months divided by 12. Dang, that's pretty. It's a long time, I guess. So, yeah, that's it.